Somehow, this season just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
And an absolute stunner. Broncos, they win at 30-16, and frankly, it wasn't that close.
That's the world gone topsy-turvy.
Of the 14 games this week, underdogs won 7 of them. 7! A chaotic week of football added up to plenty of shakeups for our Week 10 power rankings. So let's get right into it. Number 32, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 32. Following their bye week, the Lions remain the mid-season favorites to claim the first overall pick in 2022. The Dolphins, Giants, and Jaguars all picked up wins this week, so it's down to a two-way race between Detroit and Houston for the top selection.
Next on the agenda, losing and how to deal with it, because we're going to lose.
I'm cool with forfeiting.
Number 31, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 31. Speaking of the Texans, they had a winnable game on the schedule in Week 9, but it was much of the same from this terrible club. The return of Tyrod Taylor did nothing to spark a sluggish offense against a one-win Dolphins team. Things are not about to get any easier with the surging Tennessee Titans next on the schedule following Houston's bye. Number 30, the Washington Football Team. Last time's ranking, 28. Ron Rivera's squad was on a bye week. Unfortunately for them, so was their next opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's shaping up to be another wasted season in DC. They'll need to pull off one heck of an upset at FedEx Field on Sunday if they want to have any chance at the postseason. Number 29, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 26. With Mike White injured early in the Thursday nighter, the New York Jets stood almost no chance against the Indianapolis Colts. In a way, putting up 30 points against a defense of that caliber feels like a win in and of itself. New York gets another chance to play spoiler when they host the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. Number 28, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 29. Jacoby Brissett had an admirable performance in place of the injured Tua Tagovailoa, and the defense had their best performance of the season. But come on now, it's the Houston Texans. Beating a one-win team moves the Fins up one spot, but nothing more. Number 27, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 30. Upset of the season, and quite frankly, it's not even close. The Jaguars completely stymied a Buffalo team that many viewed as the top squad in the AFC, and maybe even the NFL. Josh Allen of the Jaguars had a career performance against the Bills quarterback of the same name, and so the younger Allen wins the first ever Josh Allen Bowl, and Urban Meyer gets his second NFL victory. Number 26, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 23. The Eagles hung in there, but in the end, it was Justin Herbert who outlasted his fellow sophomore QB, Jalen Hurts, in an epic shootout. 3-6 isn't much to smile about, but the Eagles still have 2 games against both Washington and the Giants, plus a game against the Jets. If they can string together some wins, a wildcard spot may not be out of the picture. Number 25, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 25. Even without Khalil Mack, the Bears put up a fight at Heinz Field. That's no easy task, but they still just couldn't get that win, and that's what counts most. I know most teams don't like to fire their coaches mid-season, but the Bears may want to consider it before Matt Nagy breaks Justin Fields for good, if he hasn't already. Number 24, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 27. The Giants were another one of those teams that pulled off an upset on Sunday, beating the Raiders at the Meadowlands. And this came just 6 days after the Giants narrowly upset the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Joe Judge's team is regaining that feisty identity we saw a year ago. They now head into the bye week before visiting Tom Brady's Bucs on Monday Night Football in Week 11. Number 23, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 17. What a massive letdown of a loss for the 49ers. They hosted the Arizona Cardinals, who were without Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and J.J. Watt. And yet, Kyle Shanahan's team was thoroughly dominated 31-17. It was a shameful performance by a San Fran team that had Super Bowl aspirations coming into the year. Next week's Monday Nighter against the Los Angeles Rams is now a must-win. Lose that game, and their playoff hopes are pretty much toast. Number 22, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 19. Well, It's probably time to pull the plug on the Sam Darnold experiment. He looks no better than the guy we saw with the Jets for 3 years. The defense has been solid, and there's certainly no shortage of talent on their offense. But quarterback play is clearly holding this team back at the moment. Needless to say, they should have done whatever was needed to get Deshaun Watson at the deadline. Number 21, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 18. A 14-point lead against the Baltimore Ravens evaporated, and the Vikings dropped a heartbreaker in overtime. Despite an abundance of talent on the roster, this continues to be a mediocre team that is run by mediocre management and mediocre coaching. Barring a second-half surge, you'd have to think that there will be some drastic changes in Minnie during the offseason.
I know it's a broken record every week of, we got to do this better, we got to do that, but we're in this situation now and we got to find a way out.
Number 20, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 22. The Colts kept their playoff hopes alive with a relatively easy win against the Jets on Thursday night. Carson Wentz is getting better and better each week, and Jonathan Taylor finds himself in the driver's seat for the rushing title. Fortunately, the AFC playoff picture is a beautiful mess, and Frank Reich's 4-5 squad is just one game out of the final wildcard spot. Number 19, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 21. The bye week could not have gone much better for the Seahawks. The 49ers, Panthers, Vikings, Eagles, and New Orleans Saints, all teams in the wildcard hunt, lost this week. And now, the 3-5 Seahawks get Russell Wilson back for their Week 10 tilt against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Just like that, Seattle is alive and well in the NFC playoff picture. Number 18, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 24. Here is the perfect example of just how crazy Week 9 was. The Atlanta Falcons were on the verge of doing exactly what we all expected them to do when they blew an 18-point fourth-quarter lead to the New Orleans Saints. But then, miraculously, they decided that this was going to be different. This time, the Falcons were determined to win a game after holding a big lead, and they did! And just like that, the Falcons are owners of the NFC's final wildcard spot. Is it time to start taking them a little more seriously? Number 17, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 13. And the good vibes are all gone. We thought losing to the Jets in Week 9 was bad enough, but then the Bengals got absolutely schooled by a Cleveland Browns team that has been hampered by injuries and all that Odell Beckham Jr. drama. And just like that, Zach Taylor's group is 5-4. At this point, it's hard to bet on them getting into the playoffs over other contenders like the Browns, Patriots, and Chiefs. Number 16, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 20. Their blowout win over the Dallas Cowboys wasn't the biggest upset of Week 9, but it was certainly one of the bigger surprises of the 2021 season. Vic Fangio's defense completely shut down Dak Prescott and the Cowboys' offense, not allowing any points at all until garbage time. Was this another mirage, or are they legit playoff contenders? At the moment, they're only half a game out of first in the AFC West. Number 15, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 10. If there's any consolation for Saints fans, their home loss to Atlanta wasn't even close to being a top 3 upset of the week. Still, it was a wasted opportunity for the Saints, who had a chance to move into a tie for top spot in the NFC South. They may never get that close again, especially with 4 of their next 6 games coming against the Titans, Bills, Cowboys, and Bucks. Number 14, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 9. It's been a horrible week for the Raiders, who lost while watching all 3 of the other AFC West squads earn victories. 1 week after releasing Henry Ruggs, the Raiders cut ties with their other 2020 first-rounder, Damon Arnett. How much longer can this battle-tested group fight through the adversity? Well, we're about to find out. Number 13, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 14. It wasn't easy, but it almost never is for the Chargers. They needed a last-second field goal to beat a lackluster Philadelphia team on the road. But hey, you can't really complain about a pivotal midseason victory. Justin Herbert regained his Pro Bowl form following consecutive rough outings. And thanks to a Raiders loss, his Chargers now find themselves tied with Vegas atop the AFC West standings. Number 12, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 15. In the blink of an eye, the Chiefs went from the sky is falling to above .500 again. But are they really back in business? They barely beat the Giants at home in Week 8, and they almost lost to the Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers in Week 9. The defense is playing better, but let's face it, this team isn't going anywhere if Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill don't get the offense going again. Number 11, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 16. Statement win for Kevin Stefanski's squad. They absolutely pummeled their interstate rivals on the road to get back above .500. This was by far the biggest season-saving win of Week 9. Maybe we shouldn't write off the Browns just yet. Number 10, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 12. Don't look now, but the Patriots appear to be a legit contender again. They run the ball hard down your throats. Mac Jones is getting better each week, and their lockdown secondary just keeps feasting off turnovers. To think, this team is just a few bounces away from being 7-1. Number 9, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 6. And with the shocking loss to Jacksonville, the Bills have already matched their loss total from 2020. It's certainly not an ideal first half of the season. Josh Allen is looking human a little more often than you'd like to see from the MVP runner-up. Never mind top spot in the conference, they better focus on holding off the Patriots for the AFC East lead. Number 8, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 11. It wasn't the easiest of wins, but the Steelers got the job done thanks to their defense, along with a big performance from rookie tight end Pat Freiermuth. There's still questions about this offense, but one thing I can tell you for certain is that as long as TJ Watt is on the field in the black and gold, this Steelers team has a chance to beat anyone in the NFL. Number 7, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 5. A stunning home loss to the Broncos ended the Cowboys' 6-game win streak. Yes, the NFC East is locked up at this point, but that was a huge blow to their hopes of claiming the number 1 seed in the conference. It's still too early to worry though. They were due for a letdown, and Dak Prescott was coming off a 2-week hiatus. If they lose at home to the Falcons, then we can maybe start worrying. Number 6, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 8. What a great bye week for the Bucs. The Saints lost, allowing Tampa to retain top spot in the NFC South, and the Packers, Cowboys, and Rams also lost, which helps Tom Brady and company in the race for the lone first-round bye in the conference. Number 5, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 2. That was an ugly home loss for the Rams, and it drops them back into second spot in the NFC West. But this is still a 7-2 team that's among the best in the NFL. Their only losses have come to 2 of the top teams in the league in Arizona and Tennessee. The good news is they have a much more manageable game against a unraveling 49ers team in Week 10, before heading into a bye. Number 4, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 1. They didn't have Aaron Rodgers, and yet they only lost to Mahomes' Chiefs at Arrowhead by 6 points. An admirable effort by the defense, but the loss is a giant blow to the Packers' hopes for the NFC's top seed. Then again, there's still half a season remaining, and this team was rolling before Rodgers was forced to miss Week 9. Don't be surprised if they go on another nice run once their MVP quarterback returns. Number 3, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 7. The Ravens avoided an upset over the Vikings in Week 9 and improved their record to 6-2. As a bonus, the Bengals lost, which suddenly puts Baltimore in the driver's seat for another division crown. And they have Miami and Chicago next on the schedule. Everything is looking up for Lamar Jackson and company. Number 2, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 4. A serious question, has any team had a more impressive 4-week stretch in recent memory than the Titans during their current run? They went from outlasting the Bills in Week 6 to thrashing Kansas City in Week 7. Then they pulled off a thrilling overtime win in Indy during Week 8 before embarrassing the high-powered Rams at SoFi in Week 9. Oh, and by the way, that last win came without Derrick Henry. The AFC South is theirs, but this team wants more. We're talking Super Bowl, and right now it doesn't look like they're about to let anyone take it from them. Number 1, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 3. Who else was going to be number 1? Zona is the lone remaining one-loss team after a bonkers Week 9. While all these other big-time NFC teams were getting upset, all the Cardinals did was go into San Francisco and win without their 2 best players in Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. They're top 3 in both scoring offense and scoring defense, and they're proving they have depth by continuing to win despite the barrage of injuries. This was a make-or-break year for Cliff Kingsbury, and he's totally passing the test. We have half a season to go, but right now, looks like the NFC is going to run through Arizona. But what changes would you make to our Week 10 NFL Power Rankings? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.